Hey, Jason Seiden here. I know it's a little windy, but it's worth it. And this video, kind of have to be at this location to do this. So this week I'm going to talk about joy. And like Oscar Wilde says, the most exquisite stories all start in tragedy. This one's no different. Some of you know about 3.5 years ago, I lost my older daughter, Elle. She had been battling a horrific condition called complex regional pain syndrome, which is just nerve pain that's never off. And on July 22nd of 2018, enough was enough, and she took her own life. So that's the tragedy. About 3 days later, my story of exquisite joy begins. And if you're thinking, well, that makes no sense, trust me when I tell you it made no sense to me either. But that's when I was sitting in my apartment in a puddle on the floor. And do me a favor, like picture the scene, but don't spend 1 minute trying to imagine how I feel. Just picture it, that's enough. Little snotty Kleenexes all around. And I'm like a cat. I'm in that little square of light coming through the window, watching dust particles. And all of a sudden, I had this bolt of joy just course right through me. And the feeling that accompanied it was that here was this girl who, with her birth, extended my capacity for joy, and now with her death, extended my capacity for grief. And how could I feel anything other than appreciation for somebody who just gives me more life to live? And it was wild, right? I mean, I had that little voice inside my head that was kind of going, what is going on here? You're in grief. You're not allowed to be happy. That's ridiculous. And I'm like, oh, voice, I know you. You're the same voice that tries to talk me into a good mood when a bad thought takes me out of one, and you never work. So you're not going to work now. So I'm just going to run with this and just stay happy for a few minutes. And I did. I had maybe 5-10 minutes of just bliss. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, just pure joy. And the feeling passed, obviously, and hell began. But that moment has stayed with me as a true north ever since. And this weekend, I had another taste of it. I thought this weekend was going to be hellacious, and it turns out it wasn't. It was actually quite pleasant. I'm down in Sanibel. This is where Elle wanted to come to a final rest. And so her ashes are now part of the landscape in Sanibel, no place where they'll be in anybody's way. And I was worried that this was going to take me down. And when I got here, I just had this feeling of gratitude that I got to do one last thing for my daughter. And it was accompanied by a feeling, I kind of wanted to take her ashes everywhere with me. And the feeling that hit me this time was, hey, Dad, my body is done. I'm already with you. You don't need my body. I'll join you anyway. And with that, it became very easy to do what you wanted to do. And so, look, I share this because Elle lived a full life, highs and lows, like the highest highs and the lowest lows. Oh my God, that story goes deep, and it's a story. And I know plenty of people who, when they talk to me, say, they can't imagine how I must feel. And all I'll tell you is, again, don't imagine it. Just don't. But know this. I have an opportunity to do one of two things, to make a choice. I can choose to throw a second life away, mine, and say, I'm just going to sit in the shit now forever. Or I can create light where there's darkness. And I can prove to myself that I can find joy even in the blackest pit. And that's what I've done. And I have just a tremendous group of friends and family who have been helpful to me on this journey. And it's far from over, obviously, but that's why this is a story of joy. Because it's a choice. It's creation. Anyone can sit in hell. That's easy. Hard is being selfish enough to laugh and to let people know it's okay. So what I'd tell you is my goal here, my goal when the girls were little was to make them laugh every day. And my goal now with Elle gone is to see if I can make myself laugh every day. And it's really no more complicated than that. So like if I can do it, anybody can. And that's how my story of joy takes me to this moment. And where it goes from here, I'm not sure. But what a ride, folks. So listen, I'm gonna go enjoy the last few rays before I have to head back to the airport and come home. I love you. I'll see you next week.